What is up, my beautiful people? Exile451 here again today. Hope you're having a great Friday and have something awesome planned for the weekend. And I want to thank all of you for the show of support lately. The channel is continuing to grow. You guys are spreading the love like crazy, and I could not be more grateful for all of it. Going into r/TalesFromRetail again today for proof good people still exist, even when it comes to working in retail. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the video. Now sit back, relax, and let's hear some Tales from Retail. Okay, I was reading a feel-good story on here, and it reminded me of this feel-good story. Also, English is my first language, so shame me for grammar mistakes as well as any spelling errors. So, there is this nice woman who comes in with her kids often, and one reason I like her kids is because they are the only kids in the store who don't scream and yell. The other reason is because they are really polite for their age and are really, really nice for their age. I think the oldest was like 9 and the younger one was like 5. One day while I was working, I was putting things away in our toy aisle when the girls see me. The older one gets my attention, so I bend down to see them on eye level. These girls also love giving high fives, so I bend down to give them one. These girls are also huge Harry Potter fans. I'm one myself, which is why they love me, and they recently took the sorting hat quiz and were telling me all about it because they just learned I am a Hufflepuff. They told me their houses and I gave them both high fives, even though the older one didn't like that her younger sister is in Slytherin. Harry Potter fans know why. After that, their mom told them that I needed to get back to work. It was a busy day. And with no fuss, they told me goodbye. Aw, OP, that is heartwarmingly sentimental. You're right, so many kids can be absolute brats in stores. We've all seen the videos make the rounds on Facebook and YouTube. And while I've never worked in retail, I did work as a lifeguard through most of college, and so I can relate with you about kids being huge brats and the nightmare that can be. But when you get those really super polite ones that come along and the parents are just as equally polite, oh my gosh, it is a wonderful, wonderful day. But that is so cool that you were able to connect with them on that level and that this regular just appreciates you so much more because you're able to connect with your kids. That's a wonderful story, and I'm so glad that you had that experience and felt like sharing it. Good stories. I see a lot of stories around here that are dealing with terrible customers. But what about those really great ones? I used to work in a drugstore, and it was amazing. I thoroughly loved my job. I used to have these great regulars that would come in, and if I was having a bad day, they'd turn it around in a heartbeat. There was one guy who worked at a theme park across the street who would come in and vent about some of the park's customers. We'd talk for a few minutes, and then he'd go home to his family. This is a story about that man. One day, about an hour or so before closing, he walked in. I'll call him E for convenience. E was walking around the store, gathering his stuff while I was behind the counter ringing someone up. I was being pleasant, but there was an issue with one of the item's prices. It was labeled incorrectly according to them. I went over and checked it out and found that the price that it rang up for matched the price on the sticker. I walked back around, sticker in hand, and showed it to the customer. E has wandered up towards the front at this point. They go absolutely nuts. They started screaming and hollering at me, yelling for my manager, this, that, and the other. You know how unreasonable these people can be. Anyways, E walks up and very calmly says, "Leave that man alone. He hasn't done you a dang thing wrong. The tag says that's the price, so pay it or get the F out." They shut up, paid, and left. He absolutely made my night. OP, that is a wonderful story about a customer not being an entitled jerk. Like you said, so many of these stories in Tales from Retail are about the absolute worst of the worst stories of humanity. And to see a customer stand up for an employee is such a relief that there are still good people out there that don't take your position for granted, that don't treat you just like hired help as though you're subhuman. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm so glad that you had that experience and that you're willing to share it with people to show that there are still good customers out there. Someone remembered me from 6 years ago. I was working cash at my grocery store when this customer and her friend started talking to me. All friendly like with, "Hey, I remember when you first started here." I have no memory of these people. They couldn't have been regulars, otherwise I would have remembered. But I smile and go along with them. I point out that it's been 6 years and I'm sorry, I don't really remember her. "Yeah, it's okay. I remember you were really nervous about working in your first real job, especially since you were back in the bakery department. I'm glad to see you've really gotten along well here." I was taken very much aback, but I just couldn't stop smiling about how someone actually remembered me from when I first started. A good memory even. So I thanked her for the nice thoughts and the added positivity to my day. This happened a while ago. I actually quietly quit a couple months ago to pursue bigger things. But I happen to be reflecting on it now and just wanted to share a feel-good story with you folks. Man, OP, I can relate to that so much. Like I mentioned with another story here, I used to work as a lifeguard in college, and I had someone actually come up and do that to me too. And that feeling of like, holy crap, you actually remember me? And then you're just like hoping you made a good impression, but it sounds like you did. Thank you so much for sharing. That's definitely a very heartwarming story and one that I could definitely easily see lifting someone up during the normal course of a day in a retail job. Good stories should be talked about. I worked at a retail store and it wasn't tipped based, but employees took them anyways. This customer always came to see me when he needed to shop. We worked off commissions, and everyone would fight to get him to shop with them because not only would he spend thousands at once, he'd give like $50 tips. I never accepted the money from him, no matter how much he'd try, because it didn't feel right to me. He was giving his business, and I would already make some from helping. I would call him and his wife when we got stuff they might like, help them pick outfits for their vacation. I'd listen to their young daughter's boy problems, etc. They were a really fun family. I never feel pressured by you. So, that's why I always come and ask for you. You go out of your way to help me and my family, but never take it, is what he would tell me and tell everyone else about me. Then, one Christmas, I had a gift bag waiting for me in the break room when I got to work. He had given me a gift card and some other nice little gifts with a card that said, "Since you can never accept a gift from me, you can't refuse gifts from Santa. It's nice to be nice sometimes." OP, you are a prime example of the perfect salesman. The one who genuinely cares about the product being sold being the best fit for the customer and not just trying to upsell for the sake of your own wallet. Salesmen can get this stereotype of just wanting to stick it to the customer, and in some cases it's deserved, but you are defying that. You are showing that you care more about what the customer wants than what they could do for you. And he's right, you can't refuse gifts from Santa. Thank you so much for defying the stereotype when it comes to your job, and for sharing this experience. I'm so glad that you had it, and especially that you were willing to tell the rest of us about it. Thank you all so much for watching today. I truly appreciate all the views, likes, shares, and everything else you all have done to promote the channel. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I will see you all Monday. Have a fantastic weekend. Until then, I'm Exile451. Stay beautiful, people.